The former Fulham and Spurs striker Clint Dempsey has announced his retirement in the last few hours from football. He's aged 35 now. He's an American legend of the sport. He's the highest scoring American in Premier League history. I think that's a record he will hold for quite some time. His record stands at 57 goals. Most of those goals came for Fulham. He obviously had a brief spell at Tottenham as well for a season. And he obviously finished his career at the Seattle Sounders in the MLS. For the American national side, for the US national team, he got 57 goals in 141 appearances, which is not a bad record. That's a 1 in 3 ratio on layman's terms. He's also the first American to score at 3 football World Cups. I think that record stands for a long time, and there were 3 consecutive World Cups as well, so that will stand for a lengthy period of time. So he wasn't the most prolific goal scorer, but he was a physical centre forward. He could hold the ball up. He could play on the left wing as well if need be, or up the middle. And he will be fondly remembered for his spell at Fulham when he led the line to get them to the Europa League Final against Atletico Madrid in 2010. True underdog story that. It was a shame they couldn't come away with the win, but they did come up against quality opposition in Atletico Madrid that evening. I remember watching that game. And it was a good game to watch, and Fulham did, to their credit, give it a go. And from that, he was part of a very spirited Fulham side. It wasn't the best Fulham side. He stuck through Fulham through some good times, getting to the Europa League final, and some not so good times when they were threatened with relegation. He did stick it out, and he put the shift in, and he could have gone elsewhere. He ended up going to Tottenham. It didn't really work out at Tottenham, which is a shame because at Fulham he was a good target man, good at holding up the ball, bringing other players into play. And it didn't quite work out at Tottenham. He only spent a season at Tottenham. He spent about 4 or 5 years at Fulham. So he did grace the Premier League for a good while. For about a third of his career was actually spent in the Premier League. He came to professional football quite late as well, so that's another success story which American soccer needs. They haven't got the talent they used to have. There is a talent gap. There is a depth issue. And if he can be involved with the federation and player development and youth development, that would probably be a very, he's probably very well suited to that. He was an exemplary professional, hard-working, not necessarily the most skillful, but definitely hard-working. He would put a shift in for his teammates. Great focal point, could hold the ball up well, bring other players into play, as I say. But the US at the moment doesn't have a Clint Dempsey. They don't have a Brian McBride. They need to sort of either find that player or improve that player, because Jose Altidore is possibly, is one of the few players playing in the European leagues that is known. There are some playing in Germany as well. And Jurgen Klinsmann put a lot of effort into the US, national side. He's now left that role. So there's sort of a leadership gap at coaching level, and there's a talent sparseness. Now the MLS is growing, but the MLS quality level is not as high as the European leagues. And that is an issue. And that's something that Clint Dempsey, as a figurehead in the sport, as a well-known professional in the sport in the US, he can give something back. I'm hoping the US Federation do sign him up for player development or a coaching role, because he can impart so much knowledge to some of these young American players that are coming through right now. But his record in the Premier League, I think, will stand for American players for a long time. I think his record for the US is outstanding. Only American player to score at 3 consecutive World Cups. I think that record stays for a generation. I don't think that gets broken anytime soon. And it'd be nice to see him obviously get into a coaching role and help develop American soccer and take it forward, because it does need that kind of veteran leadership from an ex-player to give back, because there is a massive disconnect and a gap where the US haven't kicked on. They were showing a lot of promise in the last 2 decades, and it's fallen flat when they failed to qualify for this year's World Cup. But there you go. Clint Dempsey's retired at the age of 35. What are your thoughts on Clint Dempsey? Are you a Fulham or Tottenham fan? Do you remember him fondly? I know a lot of Fulham fans probably do. Bit of a cult hero at Craven Cottage. And it's a shame it didn't work out at Tottenham, but that is how football goes. He spent a third of his career in England, and he finished his career at the Seattle Sounders in the MLS. So he's had a long, distinguished career. 15 years as a pro, came to football very late as a professional. And he's a success story for those who do develop later and get to the elite level later. He is a success story, and I think the US Federation could use him as an example and get him involved and keep him involved in the gaming and coaching or development aspect. Thank you very much for watching. Please like and subscribe. Place your thoughts below, and I'll have some more videos for you soon.